Welcome everyone to another episode of Salt and Pepper Town. Today we're going to make chicken biryani, which is an easy recipe. It's a one-pot wonder, which anybody can try, and I think it's easy to execute. It's only a few ingredients, and which should be readily available to all of you. So let's jump into the ingredients. Here you will see the ingredients for half a kilo of chicken biryani. And once you have that ready, heat up a pot with some oil, 100 grams of oil with some cinnamon stick, cloves and cardamom. And to that you can already add the onions, which you have already prepared. And now try to fry the onions on medium to medium high heat so that the onions are well caramelized and turns golden brown. One thing you need to always remember is before you start, always soak the rice, the basmati rice. Always remember to take an aged basmati rice that is at least 1 year or 2 years aged. That by that it will remain more intact when cooking, and soak it for half an hour. So now you see that once the onions are browned, I'm just adding the mint leaves and coriander leaves, which I've already prepared, with the green chilies in, and I will fry it a little longer. And with a reduced heat, add chili powder. Here I'm using a very mild chili powder, which is like a Kashmiri chili powder, which is not hot but gives you a really good color. You can use also a hot chili powder depending on your heat tolerance. Now mix that well. Yes, now when the chili powder is fried well, you can add the ginger garlic paste, which you've already prepared. And once the raw smell of the ginger garlic paste is gone, you can add in the tomatoes, and the tomatoes cook it till it gets mushy. You can also add salt to speed up the process of cooking. All right, now you can add the yogurt that you have already set aside. Now, while adding the yogurt, please make sure to lower the heat so that the yogurt doesn't break, because if it breaks, then it gets watery and not creamy anymore. So please make sure that you take that step to reduce the heat before adding the yogurt. Now take half a lime. Now this will bring in a little bit of sourness to the biryani, and which is very important. Add half a lime, squeeze it in, and then add the half a kilo chicken with bones, and mix that right in. Now here I'm adding a mix of chicken biryani masala, which I made. Now this is just optional. You can also leave it without adding any chicken biryani masala. If you really intend to use it, then you can buy a store-bought chicken biryani masala. You should be able to find that in any of the Indian stores. Mine is a home ground spice mix, which I use, which kind of brings out an extra layer of flavor, but What I also do is sometimes just leave it without adding any additional biryani masala, and just sticking to the chili powder that I add, because in that case it'll bring out the ginger flavor more pronounced in the biryani, which is also a great flavor to the biryani. And you can also have that, and it's very flavorful. This is the way the South Indian Chennai style of biryani is done. And now make sure to add the rice, the soaked rice, in, and mix that in. Here it is important to make sure that the rice is fully submerged, because here you're adding not a pre-cooked rice but a soaked rice, which means it needs to absorb the water and So meanwhile, what you can do is just check the salt, and if it's a little less, then add a little more. And also please note that this should be slightly more salty, just to compensate the salt for the rice, because otherwise it will turn out to be less salt at the end. So please make sure to compensate the salt for the rice that you've added. And now you can see that I'm just moving the rice around, just to make sure that the bottom is also moved around or brought up, that the rice cooks evenly. So now you can see that the rice is cooked. I mean, at least it has absorbed quite a lot of water from the sauce. Now you can close the lid and prepare to put a thick bottom pan under this pot, so that the heat that goes to the pot is very minimal, and this will help us to cook the rice slowly and gently. If you put it on direct heat, what can happen is it'll cause it can burn the rice at the bottom. So try to add a pan in between that can transfer the heat much more evenly to the pot, and by this the biryani can be left for 30 minutes, and once after 30 minutes you can open the lid and you'll see that the rice is thoroughly cooked, and it's not, the rice, the grains are not sticking to each other. And now you can serve. So I hope you like this recipe. Please follow for more, subscribe and like. Thank you.